Welcome to the WazaMedia podcast. WazaMedia is a digital marketing agency that believes in the power of storytelling. We show businesses and individuals how to communicate with laser focus in a media-saturated world. Today, this is the last day of 2020, and today we are going to recap the year 2020. I'm joined today by Andrew Milner. Thanks for joining me today, Andrew.
I'm excited to be here as always, and excited to talk about the year and what's going on and see what we've learned.
And it's been a crazy year, and the one thing for me is I can't believe how fast it's gone. It's gone pretty fast, even though a lot happened this year, not only for us in the business and our personal lives, but around the world. And it's just so much has happened, and there were some parts of the year where it felt really slow, but then the rest of the year just picked up pretty quick. How about yourself?
Oh yeah, same here. I This year was jam packed with so much. It was already going to be, and then COVID just added challenges along the way, but it didn't make it any less crazy. Mostly crazy good, but crazy nonetheless. And when you got a lot going on, it inevitably makes it seem like it goes so quickly.
That's very, very true. Andrew, I want to talk about how this year has impacted WazaMedia. There's a couple things that we were able to do in the year 2020, and because of things that have happened, definitely had to ramp up some business operations, and we've had to pivot some things. So the one thing I do want to talk first is some of the new digital services we're able to provide for customers. Knowing that how everything has gone to a lack of in-person interactions now with customers, a lot of engagement now has seen that it's mostly done online. It's either a phone, through an app, or on social media. That's how a lot of the customer and business interactions are being done today. And so some of the services now that we were able to provide are to include content creation at scale, using using a lot of their long form stuff, breaking it down so that way their businesses are able to communicate to their customers, revamping websites, and a couple other new things. So I'm just really excited on some of the new things we were able to provide for some of our customers this year.
Yeah, and I think also it was something that came out of us starting this podcast too, because a podcast is a great example of a um, long form content that's created. And I'm sure you know from experience being the one that's really managed the back end of our podcast that the tough part of podcasting or putting out anything long form is not the part that we're doing right here. It's the back end, getting everything set up and out there, but then also putting it out on social media, maximizing the use case of that of each podcast or long form media. So I don't want to say it's not just podcasts, but we can come, or we have some other examples of what we're talking about as well. But yeah, the work is on the back end, and I think that is one of the areas that's the barriers to entry uh, in doing digital content online for a lot of people. And so we saw an opportunity to help with that and get more people putting their thoughts out there and engaging, and also having more I would say real or genuine content that is related to their organization or business on their social media platforms. When you take something like a podcast, or if I could jump out and say one of the examples we're thinking of is sermons. Every Sunday a church has long form content, and that content can become upwards of 30 different creative social media posts. And that's a lot of work, but if you have experience with it, like a media company would, then it can happen so quickly, so efficiently, and that's what we're hoping to do. What are you most excited about with that particular service?
I'm excited for that one because I am excited to help being able to take long form content and being able to take micro content to put it on different platforms. The great part of that service is the creative. Every platform is different, and what's fun for me is to find the unique ways and how to take that content and make it contextual to the platform. Whatever you put on uh, as I mentioned, everything is contextual. So what you put on Facebook isn't going to be the exact same thing you're going to put on Twitter or Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok. Every platform is different, and how users engage that platform is different for each one. So the fun part is observing what the current trends are, finding what works, and then applying it and then evaluating later on. So it's kind of like letting your having your project, letting it see how far it takes off, and then seeing it grow.
Yeah, definitely. Um, and I'm just excited, also just to be getting organizations that otherwise think it's just out of their reach. Um, putting out 30, posts a week can be just sounds overwhelming to some uh, churches, organizations, nonprofits. But I'm hoping that we're taking something that seems out of reach and making it in reach and doable within their budget, within um, their team. So,
One thing that happened this year was I am grateful to be given an opportunity to be a business partner with WazaMedia, and that's an exciting part for myself, and I'm really happy to join you, Andrew, on this adventure. So thank you for
oh, you're
allowing
still
me
in
to
the
come on board.
honeymoon phase. You think it's exciting and fun.
For our
No, it
listeners
is
who
it.
don't know, I was Andrew invited me, and I graciously accepted the part to be a business partner. Was it February or more? I think it's
Yeah, we're
February.
actually coming up on a year. Um, and yeah, when we first shook hands on this, we didn't know COVID was right around the corner at
No,
all.
not at all. Not at all.
And but it wasn't far around the corner. And so it's interesting. Like I remember, well, actually, before I jump into what I'm about to say, I'm curious. So back then, thinking back to that period of time, what was going through your head when you were thinking about it?
I was really excited at the opportunity to do it. Having worked with you personally and having experience in public relations, public affairs, and being able to take it to the next level to help more than just the organizations that we've worked with in the military, but being able to work with small businesses, churches, organizations to help grow their communications. I think that's something that's needed, and in our fields and our backgrounds, I think that's something that we could relate with, and definitely build that bridge. And some of the organizations that we've worked with, some of them are scared that communicating and how it's not the point about to communicate, but the question becomes is how is it best to communicate? And in the world that we live in now in 2020, it's even more imperative to communicate in as many ways as you can, so that way you can reach your audience no matter where they are in the world. Because currently, there are physical limitations in how you can communicate to people. And so digital marketing and digital communications becomes even more important for churches, organizations, businesses today.
Absolutely. And for for me, it's the idea of having a business partner, that especially a business partner where we think um, not exactly think the same, because you don't want that, because you and I don't think, but our values are in line with one another. And that right there is crucial to me, because doing something like this, a business is, and doing it, growing a business is like an adventure, and it's going to have its ups and its downs. And anytime I've done anything quote unquote adventurous in my life, and I have, my time in the Marine Corps has had plenty of adventures, but I've had those moments where, you didn't have anybody to be on the journey with you. And so it, in a way, kind of detracted from it. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful, but it's like, to me, the journey is always better with companionship. So thank you for being my companion on this crazy journey,
I'm
even though
happy to
you are
be
still
here.
in the happy go lucky honeymoon phase of like,
I'm enjoying my time so far, Andrew.
Good.
I so I'm gonna. I think I'm still gonna be excited. And speaking of excitement, I am excited for 2021. I am excited for this year. We've done a lot this year, but I'm really more excited about things to come in 2021. So I wanted to ask you, what are you looking for the most in 2021? It really doesn't have to be about the business. I know we talked about the business for most of this episode, but is there anything personal that you're looking forward to that you're looking for in the next year?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. It's a big year for my family and I, and we're moving. I can more on that later. It's just details are forming, but we're moving. We're excited about that, and I plan on becoming bilingual in 2021. So yeah, really excited about that, and we'll see how that goes.
Do you have a preview of this language that you could give us, or are
A
you still
pre-
working on it?
I do. Let's see. Of course, when I get put on the spot, it's like, "Hello, apa kabar?"
Oh wow.
That's all I got.
Baby
So
steps.
that's
You got to start
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, baby steps. I used to say, "How do you know how to speak Indonesian?" Oh, it's Indonesian, by the way. That's the language. I used it the other day, but it's funny. I can't think of the sentence for. Do you know how to speak English? Crucial phrase in any language.
That's awesome. The one thing I'm looking forward to in 2021 is I'm really looking forward to picking up the bass guitar again.
Okay.
Um, I in the last month I was scrolling through some YouTube channels and I found this Italian YouTuber named Davey504. He's been doing YouTube videos for about 10 years now. He's almost at 9 million subscribers. He does a lot of bass covers and stuff, but I've just been playing it in the background, looking at his stuff. And I used to play bass guitar at my old Bible study group at university. And so praise nights, we would have praise nights on Fridays, and I'd play the bass guitar, and I learned on my own. And when I moved through the service, I ended up selling my bass guitar. So watching
Mm.
his YouTube videos is making me want to pick up the bass guitar again. So I think that's one of my personal goals for 2021 is to pick up the bass guitar. So right now I'm looking for a good deal. I know it's past Christmas, and people are either happy or unhappy with their gifts. So I'm kind of looking for someone who's not happy with their bass guitar, so that way I can get a good deal on either Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and try to grab a good deal so I can pick up and learn a bass guitar again.
Well, you might also be looking for somebody who just upgraded themselves,
I
and
didn't
they're
think
like,
about that.
yeah, there's still those people too.
No, that's a good idea. So the hunt continues for a good deal for a bass guitar.
Yeah, and I didn't know if you knew, but Janelle, my wife Janelle, she played bass. She hasn't in many years. Um, that actually makes me think I should try to encourage her to pick that back up, get musical again.
I will send you the link to Davey504's YouTube channel. That might inspire her the same
It
way
might.
it inspired me. See, listeners,
Yeah,
this is
do
the
it.
power of social media. Just browsing through a YouTube channel, it just picked up on something, and now I want to buy a bass guitar.
Yeah, and that's on the topic too of like just long form content is like you never know. I think there's this big assumption is people won't want to consume or won't want to listen to or watch what you have to put out there, and I would just say you'd be surprised. Um, Especially our millennial generation and the generations to come. There's the connection online. I mean, you and I both have our people that we follow on YouTube, on podcasts. Um, one guy I follow in particular for investment stuff and following, I pretty much don't miss an episode. Keep up with it, and so everybody has their niche, like interests, and so yeah.
We are grateful for 2020. 2020 has done a lot of things for us personally and for the company, and we're looking forward to 2021. Thanks for listening to the WazaMedia podcast. If you found this podcast helpful, please share this with a friend and please give us a review. It only takes a quick moment. Make sure you follow us on our social media platforms at WazaMedia. That's WAZA Media. If you're looking for an agency to help take your business to the next level, visit our website at waza.media to schedule a consultation. Thanks again for listening, and tune in next time for our next episode, which will be in the year 2021. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.